What's going on, everyone? So today I'm going to talk about an amazing show, Nails, playing for the first time in like 8 or 10 years, I don't know. Xibalba, one of the heaviest bands out right now. World Peace, Short and Intense. Dead Body, heavy. We'll just go with heavy and mean. Entry, one of my faves. I almost said local favorites because I've seen them a few times in Seattle, but they're not from here. An Auditory Anguish, kind of a power violence type of thing. So the whole night was amazing, and this happened on the November 15th in LA at the Belasco. So I traveled there for that show, and it was a beautiful venue. Staff were nice, good location, but the crowd, well, we'll get back to that. Got some shit to say about the crowd. But the bands, Auditory Anguish, not really my thing, but they did a good job. They came on, good energy. The crowd kind of got fired up right away. A lot of dancing, which was cool because it was like, as the venue was slowly filling in and people buying merch, people got a chance just to get out on the floor and have some fun. So that was nice. It was nice to see room for people just to dance. There's some moshing and a couple of stage divers, I think. But, and then Entry came on. It's a bit higher pace, or faster pace, kind of punkish vibe. They came on and kept the energy going. Pretty straightforward set. Always enjoy seeing them. That's, I think, the third time I got to see them. Dead Body was next. Now, I didn't know much about Dead Body or who was in it, and Colin Young, and it's a group worth checking out. They just did a split with Tribal Gaze, who is another amazing band, and this band was heavy and mean, so the genre listing is kind of like this hardcore death metal thing. I don't know. It was just heavy and aggressive, and the crowd responded pretty intensely. And from this point forward, out of the 6 bands, so this is band number 3, the crowd did not calm down. So, Dead Body, definitely a band who we're going to hear more about in the future. World Peace was up next. Again, didn't know anything about them, and you hear the name World Peace, and you figure either it's something I'm not going to like, or this is going to be a killer set, and it was a killer set. So I guess my understanding is they usually play about 8 or 9 minutes because they're real intense, kind of like grind power violence. Just real intense, and the vocalist is like kind of explosive energy, and it was really cool. I would like to see them again, but I understand that you won't be seeing a long set from those guys, so that's something where you have to like really soak it in. So now, before I get to the last 2 bands, Xibalba and Nails, I want to say this about the crowd. They were out for blood. Was that right? So I've never been to LA before. I didn't know what to expect. I expected the crowd to go hard. And this crowd went too hard. And I say this because I saw at least several fights. But the crowd killers and the stage divers, from what I saw, from what I experienced, had no intention of not hurting people. Now, not all of them, but they went way harder than they needed to. And I know this is a big point of debate, and don't get me wrong, I love a rough crowd. I love seeing Terror and seeing Nails and Xibalba, and I love seeing raging death metal crowds, and I love all that. But what the intention is, people are going to go all out without explicitly trying to hurt people, and that's not what happened here. It's pretty bad, and like people, right, when they're stage diving, they weren't just like wee, they were jumping with the intention of going high and just landing on people, and several times, right, open kind of hand, like raked across the face, like grabbing shirt collars. Now my shirt got destroyed, but I saw this happen to several other people too. And like that stuff is unnecessary. So I'll end my rant there, and I know a bunch of you, there's probably like 6 of you gonna watch this, but out of those 6, a bunch of you are probably saying, But like, hey man, if you don't like it, don't be upfront or wherever. But I've been to a lot of shows, and this is the first time where I've ever had this kind of interaction, and I can tell deliberate intent and kind of accidental intent. That being said, Xibalba and Nails, I mean, the crowd got really intense and I got scared, which never happens. Because, I mean, you couldn't tell where anybody's going to come from, which I know, again, is normal, but it was just the level of intensity, right? Xibalba, super heavy, hardcore power violence type of stuff. And it was great. It was probably one of the best, like, kind of hardcore sets I've ever seen. But, you know, it was a rough place to be up front. I got wrecked. I'm still very bruised several days later. But Xibalba, I mean, this is a band that's been out for whatever, 20 something years. And Nails said it best, like, these guys just keep getting better. It's my first time seeing them, but like hearing the music and having seen live footage, you know, prior to the show, yeah, these guys, I don't want to say they're peaking right now, because I think that they have more to offer, but I think that they're at one of their highest points they've been at. So go see them. Go see them. And then Nails, right? Just the meanest, most aggressive. I'm not even going to call it death metal. I'm not going to call it anything. It's just fucking Nails. And it was mean, and it was just, the energy was exactly what you want out of a metal band or an extreme show, right? Not over the top, not fancy, just like, this is the song, go hard, and then the band just goes in and just energy. And that's what their whole set was like, roughly an hour. And it was beautiful. If you get a chance to see Nails, do not miss them. They're a 4-piece now, a couple newish members, but yeah, don't miss them. It was a beautiful set, one of my favorites all year. And they had Max Cavalera come out. He's kind of on the West Coast doing a few things, but they had him come out, and he did Endless Resistance, which is a Nails song, with them, and then he did Sepultura's Territory with Nails as well, which that set the crowd into a very brutal direction. So 6 bands. I think SOS Booking did it. That may not be right, but my understanding is that they do a lot over there. 6 bands. I mean, this was not for the faint-hearted. It was a rough night, but every band was great. I mean, it kind of started with a really good set from Auditory Anguish and just went from there. There's a lot of positive energy in the room that came out like a fucking explosion. So if you get to see any of these bands, I recommend it. Xibalba and Nails right now are just their step up, delivering some high quality performance. And you know, if you like the music, then it's just the cherry on top, honestly. Seeing them is kind of everything. So highly recommend it. Do what you need to do to see them.